Hey guys, what the fuck is up? How is everybody doing? I miss you guys. I hope you're doing well. First of all, before we get into this video, I gotta give a big shout out and a thank you to Patty Cakes from Instagram for messaging me and checking in on me to see what the fuck, girl, where is How To Tarot? So this week, you guys, we're gonna pick up where we left off, okay? Last week we ended off on the Emperor, the Hierophant, and the Lovers card, okay? Numbers 4, 5, and 6. And this week we're going to be doing 7, 8, and 9, which are the Chariot, the Strength card, and the Hermit, okay? Number 7 for the Chariot, number 8 for the Strength, and number 9 for the Hermit card, okay? Still working through the Major Arcanas. Once we go over those, we're also going to go into the planetary associations for the Major Arcana cards. If you recall, the previous video, we went over all of the zodiac associations for each of the majors. And this week, we're going to go over the planetary associations for all of the majors. So we're going to start off with the Chariot, right? It's labeled number 7. The Chariot, as you may recall, is associated with the zodiac sign of Cancer, okay? Another keyword for this card is victory. So success and victory is major for this card. And the Chariot is, think of a crab, right? Which is the animal for Cancer. And how this man is positioned within this almost like cinder block. It's almost like he got into this frame of a frame and they poured concrete in. So he's vulnerable on the inside, right? His body is soft and squishy, but on the outside, he's completely protected by this concrete cube that he's in. So it talks about, on the surface, the card speaks about sometimes travel and movement forward, successful movement forward. The stars on his crown and the stars on the canopy above his head represent success. So when this card comes upright, he is moving forward in his dreams, and it's a successful movement forward. One of the keywords that I love with this card, I learned this very early on, is karma's course. So whether this comes upright or not, you are on your destined path. You are exactly where you're supposed to be. If this card is upright, they show you, it shows success in your endeavors. It shows possible travel, possibly issues with your automobile, maybe getting a new car or upgrades to your car. And having a balanced sense of self when it comes to polarities. If you look at the two sphinx down below, one is black and one is white. So the kind of the balance of the male and the female energies. So having a good head on your shoulders, moving forward, full steam ahead. When this card is reversed, to me, that would talk about somebody being kind of stuck, okay? Somebody's having trouble moving forward. They may be resisting that they need to kind of implement some vulnerability, okay? So because this man is submerged in concrete, it suggests to me that if he were to all of a sudden step out of the concrete, his legs would be very vulnerable to the elements, because his legs have been suffocated this whole time, right? So he would be vulnerable to the extremes of the environment. So when this card is reversed, this shows like kind of a fear of vulnerability. It's a stagnant energy when it's reversed, okay? And when it's reversed, it doesn't mean that your endeavors won't be successful, but there's something about your destined course of action that feels like it's possibly the client is resisting, okay? Okay, next up we have number 8, the Strength card, all right? The zodiac associations for this card are the Leo. So this is the Leo's card. Keywords for this card are fortitude and force. So, I mean, come on now. Look at this picture. This woman is trying to pry this lion's jaws open. And could you imagine trying to pry a lion's mouth open in real life? It would be very scary, and it would be quite the feat. So the lesson of the Strength card is to learn to let go of control, release, surrender. Enough is enough already. The story of this card is this woman, she tried to pry this lion's mouth open. The lion would not open his mouth. So finally she just gave up. And right when she gave up, that's when the lion opened his mouth for her. So this is about letting go of control. When this card comes upright, this shows that the client has plenty of strength to deal with the situation. They are moving about the situation, being graceful, okay? The client is using grace. The client's using grace at a time when many people could easily choose not to be graceful about it, okay? It's also about lessons, okay? So if you notice the infinity symbol on top of her head, to me, I think of a rubber band and these cycles, okay? Infinity meaning forever and ever, never ending, always ongoing. So if this card comes up right for somebody, it feels like this is probably kind of like a pattern of theirs needing to have control and things like that. When it's reversed is when you really take a look at somebody and you're like, dang, she's holding on really tight. She doesn't want to relinquish control. And it would do her good to put the issue to rest and walk away from it for a bit. Also, when this card is reversed, since it's called the Strength card, it kind of implies that the person doesn't actually feel as strong as they would hope to feel. All right, this next card, the Hermit, it's labeled number 9. The Hermit is associated with the sign Virgo, okay? So some of the first things that come to mind when I see this card is that it implies wisdom. The Hermit is the oldest person found in the whole deck, okay? So he's got this big white beard. He appears to be kind of thin and frail, right? He's using a cane of some sort. So he symbolizes wisdom. He also has an emphasis on time and placing too much of an emphasis on time sometimes. The Hermit is the path of going within. If you notice his lantern that he's holding, inside there's a bright star, okay? So kind of the key factor of the card. If you look at the surroundings in the card of the Hermit, he's in the snow, he's by himself, he's kind of frail, right? He's using a cane, he's old, so he's kind of vulnerable because he's out there all by himself. Yet, he knows that his lantern, aka his internal guidance system, will lead him and direct him in the right course. So the lantern is visually outside of his body, right? It's an object that he's holding, but it's symbolic for how he feels inside and the intuition that he pays attention to within himself. So the path of the Hermit is one that's kind of lonely. It feels kind of dark. It feels kind of sad. But it's still this like brightness that we have within ourselves and an ability to move forward confidently because we know we have the skills within ourselves. The Hermit would come up to show that somebody's doing a really good job at guiding themselves through something that's probably difficult. The Hermit tells us that the client may be going through a time that feels a little bit lonely, feels a little bit dark, but that they're on the right path. So it's a very reassuring card. The Hermit reverse shows that probably the client is somebody that has a really hard time going within, right? Because the lantern is very symbolic of internal guidance. So these people, just depending on what is around this card, this person's like maybe really looking outside themselves for anything to grasp onto. People, if this card comes reversed, this might be somebody who's resistant to the time that it takes to accomplish a goal, right? Since one of the key words for the Hermit is about time, you know, the time that passes. Somebody may be wanting to speed things up and is like not comfortable with this slow pace, okay? So he's the old man of the deck, so he's slow. These things take time. Okay, so let's go into the planetary associations for the Major Arcana cards. Last week we went over the zodiac associations for the Major Arcana cards. So there are, if you recall, 22 Major Arcana cards. 12 of those are assigned to zodiac signs, and 10 of those are assigned to planets. So this week we're going to go over the planets. If you want more information about the zodiac associations, week 6, last week's, okay? So the first card, labeled 0, okay? The Fool card is our first card that is associated to one of the planets, and that is the planet of Uranus, or Uranus. I hear a lot of people call it Uranus. I think if you look at the word, it looks like Uranus. But I think people don't want to say Uranus, so they call it Uranus. They like change the where we emphasize the whatevers. You know, where we emphasize certain sounds because we don't want to say Uranus. Okay, so maybe I'll call it Uranus. It just seems like following the herd to call it Uranus. It's Uranus. I don't know. Maybe it is Uranus. Matter of fact, let's Google it and see what how they pronounce it. This should be interesting. Drum roll, please.
Uranus.
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 Oh, okay. So you could do it both ways. Whatever. So Uranus is the planet, look, I can't help it, that rules the Fool card. Okay, let's look at the Fool card. Look, he's about to take a leap of faith, remember? And Uranus is the planet that some of the keywords are revolution, okay? Your potential for sudden change, enlightenment, and awakening, okay? So this is really the moment when the Fool, it's the zero, right? He's labeled zero, so he's about to awaken. And his world is about to change, okay? So revolution. So Uranus is the planet of breakthroughs, of epiphanies, of enlightenment and awakenings. Okay, the next card is the Magician, labeled number 1. And the Magician is ruled by the planet Mercury. Now, we all kind of know a little bit about Mercury because Mercury retrograde, oh my God, everything's going crazy, right? Mercury is the planet of communication. So when Mercury goes retrograde, our electronics are disrupted, communication, emails don't go through. People have misunderstandings, text messages come off the wrong way and stuff like that. So Mercury is the planet of communication. The Magician, he is, you know, he's so powerful and he really is the path of making manifest anything that he would like. So he's ruled by Mercury, the communication planet, because he has to have clear communication with all aspects of life in order to manifest what he truly wants. You can sit down and you can try and manifest something of your dreams, but if you don't have on every level of your being, if you're not in alignment and have clear communication with true intentions, you're gonna manifest something that is not quite what you wanted. Some of the other keywords for Mercury are words, thoughts, analysis, information, learning, okay? Vision, narrative, and wonder. How you think, communicate, write, talk, and travel. The next card up is the number 2 card, my girl, the High Priestess. Give it up. Yes, yes, we love her, the High Priestess. She's labeled number 2, and she's ruled by the moon. No surprise, right? On her crown, there's a moon. At her feet, there's a crescent moon. The moon rules feelings, okay, in our psyche. Your unconscious, your inner emotions and responses, okay? The moon symbolizes going deep, okay? The moon symbolizes nighttime, which nighttime kind of symbolizes parts of us that feel maybe a little bit unknown, a little bit mysterious, hidden, and secretive, okay? The moon also, remember, represents femininity, the divine feminine, right? Which the High Priestess is a representation of the divine feminine, along with instinct and mother. Next up, we have the Empress. She is ruled by the planet Venus. Venus is the love planet. It says here, the part of you that desires beauty, success, indulgence, and valuables. So Venus is all about love, magnetism, wealth, luxury, sensuality, style, indulgence. Okay, so the Empress is very much all of that. She's super in her power, sensuality, just feeling just beautiful and soft, harmonious. Okay, so makes perfect sense to me. I feel like I don't even have to delve too much into this Empress card. She's also described as the wife and the mother of the deck, okay? That beautiful, yummy, feminine energy. The Wheel of Fortune, next card, and is ruled by the planet Jupiter. Dun, dun. And Jupiter is a planet of expansion. Jupiter rules confidence, courage, and luck. So luck is a key word for this Jupiter expansion. So we're really looking at, with the Wheel of Fortune, it's that opportunity and that time in your life where you have this kind of window of opportunity to expand, to think bigger, to really dream big, and to go for it. It's a very lucky time, right, when we see this Wheel of Fortune card. Some of the other key words for Jupiter are enthusiasm, optimism, generosity, benevolence, okay? Luck comes up again. Foreign cultures, right? Expansion, going distant places, teaching, pilgrimage, chance, leaping, exploration, and potential. So the Wheel of Fortune, whenever it comes up, I'm always like, okay, something's coming up, something's fun, something cool is about to happen. Next up, we have the Hangman. The Hangman is ruled by the planet Neptune. Neptune is a planet of dreams, is what this says. So fantasies, illusions sometimes. This little quote here says, your fantasies, yearnings, longings, and potential for illusion. So the thing about the Hangman is he's mastered this sense of being able to feel discomfort, right? He's hanging upside down by his foot. It's almost like he's being taught a lesson because he was being kind of... I get the sense that, like, if he's being naughty is why he's being hung upside down, okay? So it's like this boy who wanted to go after his dreams, and he just was not grounded enough. So they had to kind of hang him up in the tree to help kind of ground him a bit up in the tree. But so it just makes me think of, and the yellow around his head is very dreamy, right? So Neptune, for the Hangman to be ruled by Neptune, is really about, in order to reach our dreams, it's really important to not only get grounded, which he is not, he's up in a tree, but the way that I feel like he's getting a taste of his own medicine and is this discomfort. So that's how you ground your body, even in spiritual practices. Like when I've done too many readings and I'm just kind of like spacey and kind of up in here, I have to do like drumming, I have to hear beats, I have to hear clapping, that's why I ring a bell, I do my singing bowls. It's just kind of these physical sensations that I have to have. So the Hangman, when he is reversed, he'd be somebody who doesn't have the patience to sit and get that grounding. One of the key words for Neptune here is empathy, right? And to imagine yourself being hung up in a tree by one foot would need a ton of empathy to empathize with him for having to go through this really uncomfortable time. The Hangman has a strong emphasis on patience, okay? And with it being associated with Neptune, which is your dreams, it's really about being able to live in the moment and be patient and work hard on your dreams. Nothing comes easy. You can't just flit through life and expect your dreams to come true. Some amount of discomfort also comes within dreams coming true. Next up, we have the Tower card, which is associated with the planet of Mars. And the way I always remember this is, do you guys remember in California, parts of California, I'm sure it was other places too, but I live in California, so this is my perspective, is you remember the day after the wildfires where our skies were orange, okay? That was like Mars to me, this kind of fiery, explosive, kind of tense energy. Mars is the red planet, okay? So Mars being associated with the Tower card, the Tower showing this kind of breakdown of this tower and fire, and Mars is also kind of like this action. Some of the keywords are desires and impulse, force, heat, strength, competition, workouts, excitement, thirst, and patience, okay? Willpower, also sex drive. Your physical energy, drive, strength, and fighting spirit are some of the key words for Mars. So if you just look at the Tower card, it's like, bah, like this, that's Mars, okay? Next up, of course, we have the Sun card, and the Sun is ruled by the Sun. Pretty simple, huh? The Sun card is representative of like just the absolute joy and freedom of expression, okay? Keywords for this is your immortal spirit, purpose, and destiny. Being is a key word for Sun. Being, just being able to be present, your being, your essence, life force, spirit, creativity, and honor. Masculinity, Sun, masculinity, distinction, childishness, individuality, shine, and father are some of the key words for the Sun. Next up, we have the Judgment card, which is ruled by Pluto. Pluto is the planet of transformation. Okay, so this one I really like. The Judgment card is about taking accountability for our actions and, accounting for the things that we've done, being honest with ourselves, and coming to terms with some of the mistakes that we've made. How does transformation actually occur? A transformation occurs when we're honest with ourselves and we're willing to do that kind of work. It's very uncomfortable to take a look at ourselves and to account for some of our wrongdoings, okay? So Pluto's the planet of transformation. Some of the other key words are resources, basic instinct, motivation, personal power, taboos, reckoning, intensity, clearing, and extremes. Your ability to transform and take a big leap forward and rebirth. So the Judgment card, being ruled by planet Pluto, really initiates a cycle within our psyches and processes that really moves us forward quite quickly when we really delve into the energy of the Judgment card. It's one of my favorite cards. Because it's hard work. I feel like I'm constantly there, and I'm constantly like facing it. Last card we have to touch on here is the World card, ruled by the planet Saturn. Saturn's also my ruler for my zodiac, the Capricorn. So Saturn, if you look at the World card and think about how Saturn looks like with its rings, right? So it's got a similar association there. That's one of the ways that made it easy for me to remember that the World card was associated with Saturn. Another key word for this card is wisdom. Okay, the World card is labeled number 21. Okay, and it's the last of the major arcana, so it's the oldest card of the majors, so which is associated with planet Saturn, the word wisdom. So I associate that as well. That helps me out. Saturn is a planet of discipline and structure. Okay, he's Father Time. He's about meeting challenges in a way that is honorable, in a way that follows the rules, in a way that's fair. Okay, so Saturn is taking life's challenges and doing the right thing even when people aren't watching. Even when we might have an opportunity to, kind of take shortcuts at the expense of other people, this is doing the right thing. The World card is that ultimate, just full cycle, covered all bases, busting out, you the shit. Okay, so that's how you think of that. Maturity is also one of the key words. A little quote here says, the part of you that accepts challenge to gain wisdom. So knowing you're moving, if somebody's got the World card, they may have been somebody that really went through a challenging time and dealt with it head on with honor. And that's super admirable. Okay, love bugs, those are the planetary associations. Let's go ahead and do a spread, shall we? Let's go and see. Let's do a 5-card spread. Take anything that comes. Uprights, reversals, all of it. 5 of Cups popped out, reversed. Remember, 5 of Cups is one of the few cards that when reversed, it's got a slightly more positive slant to it, okay? Let's see what else we got here. Judgment card, da-da-da, my favorite. Queen of Swords, 4 of Swords, and Page of Pentacles reverse. Okay, so Queen of Swords was also reverse. Okay, so what do we see first? The first thing that I see, the first thing that really calls my attention are these 2 upright cards here, the Judgment card and the 4 of Swords. So I'm looking at, first of all, and if I had to pick between the two, I'm going to pick the Judgment first because it's the Major Arcana card. It's actually the only Major Arcana card that shows up. So it's the major life theme, the main thing that should probably be touched on. So remember, we just did Judgment, which is associated with the planet Pluto, transformation. So somebody here is in kind of this potential rebirth process. Yeah, I actually feel like there's somebody here that maybe dealt with a situation inappropriately Either they were kind of disrespectful with their words. I'm looking at the Queen of Swords, how she's reversed, or there was a lack of communication that happened. It's possible that she couldn't get through to somebody, or there was some kind of apology that was called for. Okay, here she is, the Queen of Swords reversed. She's looking at the Judgment card. It's almost like it's possible the client is waiting for an apology or kind of a making amends. There's some sort of amends she's waiting for, or perhaps she has not made some sort of apology that she should have. There seems to be kind of like this feeling sorry for myself and focusing on the past or focusing on the negatives instead of what's right in front of you. I'm looking at the Five of Cups reverse. However, I think this person kind of knows that they're beginning to see. I'm getting that from the Five of Cups reverse, because when it's reversed, it's kind of a beginning of turning the boat around, okay? This person, in order to get a better grasp of what's going on and to get honest with themselves, they're going to need to go within and get quiet. Four of Swords is our meditation, contemplation. Four of Swords is resting after a time of a lot of upheaval. Whoever this is seems to be worried that if they start this new endeavor, that it's really not going to grow, that there's not going to be this fruitfulness to their efforts. Okay, I'm looking at the reverse Page of Pentacles. Remember, pages are beginning or new or youth. So this person could be dealing with somebody earth sign, Page of Pentacles, or a new endeavor that should have some sort of growth to it, but seemingly does not because it's reversed. Somebody seems to be really in their head, okay? We got this Two Sword cards. So this Queen of Swords to be reversed, I feel like somebody's really in their head. They're not really speaking up for what they'd like. Definitely dealing with issues that need to be healed from the past. Why do I feel like an emphasis on the past? Well, that's because both the Queen and both the Page are looking in the direction of the past. Okay, they're both looking at this Judgment card. Like, I'm waiting for my apology. You might want to just give it a break, take a rest, and then try again tomorrow. For this spread, I would probably pull clarification cards, but overall, you really want to look at the center card, and there's definitely an emphasis on somebody's lack of communication, okay? Queen of Swords, either being disrespectful with their words or not speaking up in a way that they should. There's also, again, like I said, an emphasis on an apology or a healing or making amends, coming to terms with something from the past as well. Okay, love bugs. I hope you guys enjoyed that. It was nice catching up with you guys again. I appreciate you. Next week, we will go into the Wheel of Fortune card, the Justice card, and the Hangman card. And we'll go through more if we have more time. I found that today we flew through our majors really fast, so maybe we'll do more than that, but we'll pick up from where we left off today. Please remember to share this video. Please like this video, leave a comment if you enjoyed it, and of course subscribe. Hit me up at grateful_Drake if you are trying to get in contact with me, would like a personal reading. Yes, and I'll see you around, you guys. All right.